Hi, it's Carol Doherty. I'm a career coach who helps women in STEM go from merely surviving to thriving and building the career that you've always dreamed of. And today I want to talk about what to do if you're in a toxic workplace if you're a woman in STEM. Now, I'm going to be sharing some strategies and things that you can do no matter what kind of toxicity you're dealing with. And I'm not going to focus initially on those obvious toxic places where there's no women in leadership. Women are relegated to administrative roles and not given the projects. It's the good old boys network. The strategies I'm sharing will work there. I want to talk about some of the more subtle toxic workplaces because those are harder to deal with. I've been in those. I've been in the other kind where it was blatant and there were sexist things said to me and all kinds of that garbage. That was actually easier to deal with because it was blatant. It was obvious. You could address it head on. I want to talk instead about that subtle toxicity. The last place that I worked, I was in a unique role, a director level role at a corporate level. And the interesting thing was I had a lot of respect across the organization from the people that I worked with. There was a small group of people. I was part of a small team that was at corporate. There were 3 of us and our boss. And then we were part of, we had peers at the business units. And at the business units, for the most part, again, I got along really well. But there was one person on my direct team who had an agenda. And I didn't fit her agenda. So she liked to have targets and she liked to do things. And she wasn't the best with our internal clients either. She was rude and disrespectful to them. And one day I went to my boss because I'd gotten a bunch of feedback in a 2-week period. And I went to my boss and told him that she was starting to damage our reputation as a department. And the department had taken a big hit about 1.5 years before. And I told him about what she was doing and what comments I was hearing, how people didn't trust us. And his comment was, yeah, she doesn't have a good bedside manner, but she gets results. Guess what? I knew at that point I was in trouble because I didn't play her game. I didn't follow along with her. So she started kind of those subtle attacks and she bullied a little bit. She didn't ever come straight at me, but she poisoned the well. It got worse and it made the workplace toxic for me to be in. I knew walking in, it was kind of one of those things every day. It was like, okay, what's it going to be today? And she poisoned somebody who I had a decent working relationship with, one point a really good relationship with, to the point where I couldn't even hardly talk to this coworker, and I needed to, because she was so poisoned against me that if I didn't watch every word, I would be verbally attacked. That's the kind of thing I want to talk about. So if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you're being gaslighted, had that, and you're just kind of being bullied, what do you do? First and foremost, step back. And it's so hard because you're emotionally struggling with the situation. But step back. And if you have some people you can trust that can see what's going on as well. Maybe it's a coworker, a peer from a different department, someone that you can talk to. Ask what are they seeing? What are they hearing? What are they observing? And then step back and really understand what it is you bring to the table. Get clear on your role, what you're doing, and look at what's going on. You need that perspective because sometimes it's an individual person that is the bad apple, or sometimes it's the whole organization. And how you respond and what you do differs. And this is true even if it's the overt, blatant, sexist garbage that we still deal with. Is it a specific person, a specific group, or is it a bigger picture? Now, the company I was at where this was going on, this last one, there was a lot of yeah buts. They excused so much bad behavior at all different levels. Yeah, but he's really good at. So they allowed people to be jerks and to, in some ways, act what is probably illegally in terms of harassment and discrimination. But because they were effective in their jobs, they got results. It was a yeah, but. And they would get yelled at and sent back to their job, and nothing ever changed. So, yes, I had a person who was being really bad, but it was possible because within the company, this behavior also existed. So you need to understand what that is. So figure out, is this somebody happening to me? Earlier in my career, I had a person who hated the fact that there was a female engineer. He was older, he was close to retirement, and this was in the mid-90s. And he did not like that I was a female engineer and I could set direction on stuff. So every time I decided something, he went to his boss and talked about how incompetent I was, or how I was screwing this up or making this mistake. And his boss would come to my boss because they were peers. And so then I was constantly fighting it. So that was one person in an organization that overall wasn't too bad. Yes, there were pockets, but overall it wasn't bad. This last time, the company was kind of tainted all around. So understand that. So that difference really does matter. If it's one person in a good organization, it's actually easier to address. But if, like for me, it's the whole organization that kind of allows some of this, as long as you get results, it's a lot harder to address and stay in place. So once you figure out, is it something that's happening to me, or is this part of a bigger picture, then you can start figuring out what to do next. Get allies. Find people that you can connect with that are either neutral or will help support you. I had some of those, and it made all the difference. They kept me sane. But the important thing is also to stay professional at all times. Even though this coworker was being so difficult, I never stooped down to play the games that she did. I always took the high road. I always stayed professional. And even when they decided to eliminate my position, my boss told me that I was the most professional person on his team. And yet I was the one being let go. I was deemed redundant. And some of this was the politics that allowed this person to operate. So stay professional. And if it may not do anything, but it will help you because you know you're doing the right thing. And other people who aren't sucked into the toxicity will see that you did the right thing no matter what. I had senior vice presidents who got really upset when I was let go because they saw that I had always behaved professionally and I got stuff done and I was somebody they liked working with. So stay professional. Then the next couple of things are, if you want to take action. First, look up your company's policies. What do they say they will accept and will not accept? Also, understand what the law is in your state and federally. If you're in the U.S. or wherever you are, understand what the law says about harassment, hostile work environment, discrimination, all of that stuff. Understand what the rules are. And then if you need to, or you choose to, report it to somebody that you can trust. Maybe it's HR. Last company I worked for, HR was where some of the problem was. So HR wasn't really an option. But you can, and neither were senior managers. But in other places, I was able to go to senior managers. So is there a senior manager that you can go to? It may not be your boss. Maybe it's his boss, or maybe it's another senior person. Once you're in that senior leadership role, you're obligated, if you're told about something like this, to report it and address it. So talk to somebody who's above you if you need to, or go to HR. Reality is HR is supposed to deal with this stuff. The good HRs will. Figure out where you're going to go, report it. If you're worried about retaliation, HR is your better bet. and tell them you fear retaliation. That is an illegal act. So there are things that can be done to help protect you. So know what you can do. Know who you can trust. Take time to figure that out and report it if you need to. And then if you are in a toxic workplace, create an exit plan. Figure out how you're going to get out. When my job was eliminated, it was in July, I had already been planning on being gone by January 1. So I knew things were bad. I knew it wasn't going to go well. It just happened a little faster than I expected. Okay, fine. But create that exit plan. Have a way to get out to protect yourself, because that's important. And do what's right for you. Don't stay in a toxic place. Don't allow the toxicity to drive you crazy. It's going to affect your mental health, your physical health. It's going to make you doubt your abilities to do your job, and you're going to diminish yourself, and you're going to pay the price. So do what you need to do to stop it or to get out. If you want to learn more about this, check out my YouTube channel at caroldoherty.tube. More videos out there about this, or go out to my Instagram at Carol S. Doherty, where I've been posting about this. I'm doing a midweek madness break on November 17th, 2021. You can register for that at www.midweekmadnessbreak, all one word, .live. And you can join me and hear what's going on, or if you're after this, register and you'll get access to the replays. It's all good. So I hope to see you around. Have a great day, and don't let the toxicity get to you.